to get to know so many students through my various roles, each student leaving a lasting impression. Albeit some of them I was relieved to say farewell to, yet others I wish I could have taught over and over again. As I began to think what I might say today to encapsulate Christian Bradley as a student, I certainly include him in the latter category. I could have taught a class full of Christian Bradleys for 6 periods a day. Granted, I probably would have laughed the entire time with very little teaching happening, but that's just how exceptional he was. And while I might have wished to teach lots of kids like him, there were no other kids like him. He was one of a kind, a young man whose presence illuminated every room he entered. Christian was more than just a student. He was a flame of kindness, respect, and joy. And much like moths drawn to a flame, we were all drawn to him and enjoyed just being around him. As his teacher, I had the privilege of witnessing Christian's journey firsthand. From the moment he walked into my classroom, it was evident that he possessed a rare combination of humility and charisma. I was the teacher that let students pick their seats, and I would only change seats if they proved they couldn't manage themselves in the arrangement they designed. I remember when Christian walked in, he made his way to the back of the classroom to find a seat. In the teacher world, much like the church world, the folks that choose to sit in the back often are your folks that go to sleep or your troublemakers. And having not known Christian, I thought to myself, oh, here we go. But my quick judgment was wrong. Christian was the type of kid you want in the back of the room. He had influence, a desire to learn, and a knack for inspiring others to want to as well. The back of the classroom was his way of living in both worlds. He could be the cool kid that was friends with everyone, but he could also be a teacher's favorite by pressuring his peers to stay on task and to do the work. I'll also say he may have sat in the back because by the time he got to class, those were the only seats left. I cannot speak to his time management in his personal life outside of school, but he was always coming into class right when the bell rang or right after. He operated in being almost on time. I would later come to realize that he was pushed for time because class transition, or that time between classes, was a social event for Christian. He was working the halls much like he knew how to work a room. I distinctly remember him being quiet and reserved at first. I think he was trying to figure out what kind of teacher I was. He knew me from pep rallies, but the Mr. Jones in the middle of the gym floor screaming, "Go Tigers!" was a stark contrast to the Mr. Jones, the math teacher. I too was trying to figure him out, the kid who comes in quietly with a mischievous smile and walks to the back of the room to sit, but with the last name Bradley. If you don't think there's power in a name, just ask a teacher. We know names and we know families. And the Bradley family comes with a certain expectation. I have known Felicia and Vincent for years. Michael, Brittany, and I go back to middle school, while Jessica and Caitlin were on my homecoming court. And I was honored to crown Caitlin homecoming queen in the fall of 2014. So when I made the family connection, my expectations of Christian rose greatly. And wow, did he exceed those expectations. The Bradley girls stood out regardless of what circle they were in. They were gorgeous, respectful, and respected. You could spot them a mile away. Christian was similar to them in his manners and how he carried himself, but he also had a chameleon quality that was different. He could move in and out of circles of people. Sometimes the life of the party front and center, and sometimes the quiet observer taking it all in. If you don't know, the break area at BCHS is mapped out. This group stands here, this group stands here, lines are drawn and very few cross over. However, Christian was a true diplomat. He could navigate from group to group, and you never knew where you'd find him. He had a way of making everyone feel welcomed and valued, and regardless of who they were, where they came from, or what they had or didn't have. My former colleagues and some of Christian's other teachers echoed these sentiments, remembering Christian as someone who could always brighten a day with a joke or a kind word. Miss Chantel McPherson beautifully described him as sunshine on a cloudy day, capturing the essence of his radiant spirit. Coach Shell, or Coach Davis as some of you know her, recalled his visits to that gym where he would check in, have something funny to share or to say, and all the while still maintaining his impeccable manners. He was known for his academic diligence, but also for his unmatched style. Miss Vicki Locke said she mentioned his sharp attire, a testament to his attention to detail and pride in his appearance. A Christian's impact extended far beyond the walls of the classroom. Miss Norlisha Lewis eloquently described him as charismatically infectious, a true embodiment of empathy and compassion. His presence was like kindness confetti, spreading joy wherever he went. And Coach Brian Jerkins, who worked closely with Christian throughout his high school years, spoke of the profound bond they shared. Christian was not just a student to him, but like a son, someone he could confide in and share laughter with, even on the toughest days. As I wrote down my thoughts and tried to focus on the phrase Christian as a student, I had hoped to stand up here and discuss in detail Christian's academic talents. I could have pulled his transcript and read to you his GPA and the skills he mastered. I could have mentioned his test scores and how studious he was in the classroom. I could have spent time telling you how he was a hard worker, never missed an assignment, completed each task, and made the most of every class period. It would have all been true. But Christian as a student was so much more than that. He was a remarkable young man who had the ability to love people from all walks of life. And while I remember him for the student he was, I remember him most for the person he was. I had a chance encounter with him not long ago at a gas station in Bay Minette. We did not get a chance to talk long. I think we both were rushing off to the next stop. Yet in my short interaction and exchange, I knew he was the same person I met in my Algebra 1 class, his 9th grade year. Over the last few years, I have watched him grow and mature via Facebook. I have been proud of his work ethic, his commitment to his family, and his desire to see people come together. Christian was a light in what is an increasingly dark world, and he is already deeply missed. As we reflect on Christian's life, let us remember him for the remarkable young man he was. He may no longer be with us physically, but he lives on in the memories and hearts of all who were blessed enough to know him. I was asked to sing for you all today. The song selection process was a bit uncertain at times, but Lorenzo and I selected something that crossed my mind early on, but I was not sure was fitting for today. However, the more I thought of what could summarize my own feelings about Christian and how I would classify them, I consider his presence in my life an extension of God's goodness to me and to all of us. In Christian's kindness, compassion, and joy, we see glimpses of the goodness of God. As I sing, I hope you take a moment to reflect on your relationship with Christian and let us celebrate his life and give thanks for the countless blessings that God has bestowed upon us through Christian. Though his time with us seems to have ended prematurely, the impact he made on those around him serves as a powerful testament to God's love, his grace, and his faithfulness.